Hey guys! So in today's video, I'm going to be doing my top books of 2020. So first, I'm just going to explain a little bit on why I have not posted for 2 months. I started school in September, and it has been a lot busier and a lot more stressful than I ever thought it was going to be. And grade 12 is definitely a stressful year, but with COVID being a thing, it has made it so much more difficult. Yeah, so that's why I have not been filming. Also, I want to film. I don't really have time, but I don't have time to read at all. I am studying all the time. It is awful, but that is what I have to do. I only read about 51 books this year, I think. I might have read a few more just because I didn't get Goodreads until March or April, or I think April. Anyway, so I'm just going to be talking about a few of my top books, and then at the very end I will talk about my 2 favorite books, because I couldn't really choose which one that I liked because they're both from very different genres, but I love them both so much. So the first books that I'm going to talk about is the Twilight series. I got back into those this year. I've read them before, but I got back into them. They are all so amazing, especially the first one, just Twilight. I love it so much, so much. And I think I started those in March again. So I just love those books so much. They bring me back because I think I read them for the first time in grade 6, and I just love them. My next book is Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. This book is an age gap romance. I love age gap romances so much. Probably my favorite romance genre? Romance trope. My goodness. Yeah, you can tell that I have not been very active in my books lately. This is an age gap romance. This girl who is currently dating this guy. They are 19, I think. She's dating him, and they've been together for quite a long time, but she's not really feeling the spark anymore, but they were all each other had at one point. And she meets this older man at a movie theater, and it's fine, it's whatever. And she kind of likes him a little bit, but it's like nothing's gonna happen. And then she finds out that it's her boyfriend's father, and they have to end up moving in because of something with their apartment. And they move in, and she falls for him, and it is so amazing. It's so amazing. I love this book so much. I was actually going to start rereading it again, but I do not have time, which is very unfortunate. My next book is Voyeur by Fiona Cole. This is the first book in the Voyeur series, and I've read the second book as well. I think I was going to start the third book, but I didn't end up doing that. The first book is definitely my favorite out of the 2 that I've read. Voyeur is about this girl who is in college, university, whatever you want to call it, and she doesn't really have a lot of money. I think that's it. She doesn't have a lot of money, so she needs to find a new job, and her friend says, "Oh, well, my uncle owns this, like, club type of thing. You can work there." So she goes for an interview, and she finds out what it's all about, and it is a sex club, but not like a brothel. It is... she has like a partner that she works with, and people pay to watch, so it's like live porn. It was actually a pretty good book. She ends up falling for one of the guys that watches her, who is one of her professors also. It is a really good book. The drama was pretty good too, which is the part that I really liked. My next books are the whole Hunger Games series. I had never read them before, surprisingly, but once the 4th one came out, I don't remember what it's called, but the green one, once the green book came out, I was like, I should probably read them. So I read all 3 in 3 days. That's actually a video on my channel. You can check it out if you want. My real life reaction of the books. Anyway, I have read the first one now again. They are so good. So good. Obviously the first one's the best. I love it so much. So those are all my like generally pretty great books that I have either read more than once or I plan on reading more than once. They're just really good books. So now we're at my 2 favorite books of the entire year. The entire year summed up by these 2 books that I could read over and over and over and over again. I am so obsessed. They are like a drug to me. It is amazing. This book is not reaching my top 2 favorites, but it's almost there. It's almost there. It was Midnight Sun. Oh my goodness, this book came out this year. It was amazing. I just gotten back into Twilight, and this book comes out. Oh my goodness, this is the first Twilight book in Edward's point of view. Wow, it was amazing. It might have been better than Twilight, but I'm not gonna say that because, like, I don't know. But this book was so amazing. So, since we had just talked about The Hunger Games, one of my top favorite books was The Hunger Games, the first one. Seriously, so good. I just explained it without holding the book up, so I'm going to put that clip in now. But here is the book. I could read that book so much. I have been missing out for 17 years of my life, and now I have finally read it so many times. It is amazing. I love it. I like the first book more than the other 2 because the first book's more about the games and she's in the arena for more time in the book, and it's less about the love story and her trying to like survive not in the games but outside of the games. So I liked the first one definitely a lot better than I like the other 2, but the other 2 are okay. But the first book is just so amazing. I can't even explain how much I love this book. So one of my top 2 favorite books is Credence by Penelope Douglas. I've explained it a little bit. Oh my gosh. I've explained it a little bit without holding the book up. Also, these bookmarks are adorable. But I am now going to put that clip in and then come back and actually explain what the book is about. Penelope Douglas, I really enjoy her books and her writing, except for one book that I read, which is also on my channel, Punk 57. That book was not exactly my favorite, just because I don't like bully romances, so I think it threw off the entire book for me. But it was a good book. I did not like the bully romance aspect. Anyway, back to Credence. So this book is a romance. Romance is my favorite genre. We know that. Credence is about, it's a standalone. Oh, that's wrong. This book is not part of a series. I think it's one of the first Penelope Douglas books I ever read. Anyway, this book is about this girl and her parents end up dying and she has no other family that she knows of, and then her dad's stepbrother ends up calling her and she's like, oh yeah, dad had a stepbrother. So her dad's stepbrother lives out in the middle of nowhere pretty much. He lives up on a mountain. They get snowed in for months and months at a time, and they have to do everything for themselves. They have to farm, they have to hunt, they have to provide for themselves. They don't get Wi-Fi most of the year during the winter months. They don't get water. It's a lot different than how she's living because she lives in a rich household. She's had money her whole life. She's had name brand, huge house, everything like that. But her stepdad calls her, her stepdad's brother. I don't remember what I said earlier, but it's her uncle, okay? Oh my goodness, this is awful. Her step-uncle calls her up and is like, you can live with me if you want. You don't have to. You're 17. Not that big of a deal, but you can if you want because I'm your only family. I also have 2 sons. So those are her step-cousins. Anyway, it is a 3-way romance. You would not think this is a good book, but I swear. It's so good. It's so good. It's so steamy. It's amazing. I saw Chandler Ainsley read this book, and I was like, I think like the day after I watched her video, I got this book. So amazing. I got the paperback version for Christmas because I love it so much and I want it on my shelf. Yeah, so she ends up having a relationship with all three of them. Remember, they're not blood related. I know it can ick people out, but she didn't know these people existed until she was almost 18 years old. Nothing happens. Pretty much nothing happens until she's 18. So, anyway, the love story, she ends up falling for one of them. It's so amazing. So, it's a little bit of an age gap, too. A little forbidden. So amazing. She ends up falling for one of them. Such a good book. I could rave on about this book. I'm actually reading it again right now. So those are my top favorite books from 2020. There were so many other great books that I was going to talk about, but I wasn't really sure if I should put them in here. So I don't really know. But those are my top favorite ones. If you want to know the other books that I read this year, go check out my Goodreads. I did not read as many as I wanted because I started slacking off in September, and I think I've read 3 books since September. I was reading like 11 books a month. So we are not doing very well. But it is the new year. So hopefully I can reach my reading goal. I only made it 60 this year, so my 2021 reading goal on Goodreads, which is linked in the description, I only put 60 books. So hopefully I can reach that this year. Hopefully it's not too bad. I am going into university this year, so maybe it'll be difficult. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!